Cosatu has hit the streets marching against job losses. That was earlier this week. And late yesterday, mining giant Sibanye-Stillwater making an announcement that it would retrench thousands of workers for some responses on the continuing job losses, particularly in the mining sector. I'm joined by the National Union of Mine Workers Deputy President, Philip Vilakazi. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Philip. According to Sibanye, the mining sector is battling quite a number of issues, from high electricity prices, rising labor costs, and the cost of gold just remaining flat. Are those reasons enough for these job cuts to be justified, at least in your view?
Thank you very much, Presenter. To start with, that is really pathetic. It is always the reason, and of which it doesn't hold water. What one can tell is that this is a battle which is always the case towards national elections. We notice that as members of Cosatu, by being an affiliate. That's why we marched, and all what we are going to do is to sit down and understand, because there is a standing that we are saying there should be a moratorium in terms of job cuts, to say, can there be a moratorium, and people must not, when they feel that they are bloated in terms of their administration, London, Johannesburg, and other areas.
Let's talk then about the fact that you feel that this is always closely linked to elections. They've also said that previously they've been able to have negotiations, and listing the Beatrix mine in particular, where on 2 occasions they've announced job cuts but have entered into negotiations with unions where they've been able to prevent that from happening. Why does this round of talks seem to be receiving resistance from the unions?
Kathy, allow me to be honest to the public and everybody home. Once we are divided, we'll never achieve anything as the organized labor. Young as I am, I'm beginning to be old in few years' time to come now. But the history that I've learned since I joined mining as an employee, workers achieved a lot because they were united. We were caught with our pens down in the inception of the new formation in our space. If you look at what is it that capital is losing versus what the comrades are losing in their personal level, you will see that capital, because of their demon, they are always victorious in the battle where workers are divided. There is a very stiffy environment in as far as that is concerned. You might have drawn lessons in 2012. The enemy of a black man is a black man today. The economy will grow on condition the unity that has made mining.
So are you saying that you haven't been able to enter into negotiations with the mine over the potential shutdown of these operations because as unions you are not united on these issues?
No, what I'm saying is, your question was crystal saying, what is it that we are doing in terms of negotiations? I tried to answer that one. In as far as this thing of entering into negotiations, facing this bloodbath of jobs, we only received a notice yesterday.
But according to Sibanye, they've been in talks with you since last year. That's what the spokesperson, James Wellstead, has said, and that these have been monthly engagements about the 5 loss-making shafts that now stand to be shut.
Katie, let people not take advantage of you. The Labour Relations Act talks to notice, and the notice will outline plus minus 11 items, including the reasons. If there are quality council meetings which are conducted on monthly basis, those are meetings to deal with the do's and the don'ts. When you talk retrenchment, is an independent process wherein recognized trade unions, non-unionized people, and everybody involved and to be affected needs to be represented in that particular forum where these kind of issues are going to be traced, because the Act asks a question: how many people are they going to be affected?
But how closely then do you watch the profitability of the mines where your members work? And because surely something like this then shouldn't come as a surprise, especially when you are aware of everything that's happening in the mining sector, or did it catch you off guard?
You see, Kathy, when you are perfect. We have a unit in our union that is called the research unit in terms of the economics. In as far as mining productivity is concerned, gold is doing far much better than platinum as you speak. But they will tell you about the group metals. And that's where we are cashed with our pens down. Because if you say to this spokesperson of Sibanye-Stillwater, tell me, what is it that is getting or is given to the CEO or this top brass sitting in Sandton and those in London? You find that only 7 people, their salary can pay 2,000 employees or more. The economy of South Africa has never been structured since the reason why we have a day called May Day. May Day is a day to recognize the rights of workers. But if you check, salaries in terms of those who are in the cold phase is still a battle that we need to negotiate. It's not like if you are coming as a professional to come here and dictate terms. And the majority of mine workers, to be precise, that is an industry which has never been regarded as an environment for people to work. It's an environment for slaves. And now that there are trade unions, we tend things around. Now people feel we are expensive.
What are the proposals that you are putting on the table for, number one, the companies to deal with these different challenges that they say they're facing, but also at the same time to be able to save at least as many jobs as possible? Have you come up with proposals?
We have a very painful proposal, very painful. All these old mine systems must collapse. We need new boys in the game who will understand that they should have an office next to the mine and an office 100 meters away so that the costs are minimized. If you look into the reality of these things that these people are talking, really, I don't want just to let them.
So are you saying that when Sibanye, because from what I've been reading of what they're saying to unions right now, they seem to have opened the door to say, come and let's talk and see how we can work our way through this current wave of what could be restructuring. So are you saying that when you meet with them, your proposal is going to be that the mine must in fact collapse?
To be precise on your question, when we are going to engage in the process of retrenchment, there are procedural questions that we are going to ask. Whom are you looking for? What for? What was he doing? What is it that we are going to do without that particular space? Because mining is an operation. There is no car that can move without an engine unless it's stored. Now, in this case, we are going to try to understand the issue of costs versus the lifespan of the mine. Remember, there is a geoscience report in every mining house. What do? They move around each and every ground where they've got access. They take the ore that is closer to them, and they leave the ore that is more deep, and they call it very expensive. All we are going to do is to ask a simple question. For how long is the lifespan of this mine? And if this mine can still operate 70 or more years to come, then we are going to ask them that if you are not able to live or to operate this mine, the best way is for you to quit so that we introduce somebody who will understand that it's not about only profit here, it's about the lives of other people.
All right, let's leave it there for this afternoon.
Yes.
That was the National Union of Mine Workers Deputy President, Philip Vilakazi.